Hey there for all my Savannah peeps and those interested in the Savannah housing market. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home here in the near future, you have to check out the rest of this video. That way you can see what is actually going on in the market, why are homes sitting a lot longer, are prices coming down, and could this be the sign of a market crash here in the area? Well, let's dive into my desktop and look at the facts. So every single chart that we're going to be looking at is going to be a 10-year chart, because what we just went through in the last few years was a crazy COVID market. And I feel like so many people have forgotten what a normal market looks like without extremely low interest rates, without crazy price increases. And let's be real, there's a lot less competition in the market, just like it was prior to COVID-19. So the biggest thing, the first chart that I want to show you is the months of inventory that is currently here in the Savannah area. And you can clearly see that we are back at the pre-COVID levels. Now, current inventory for months is 5.3. Now, what does months of inventory mean? Well, if there were no more houses to go onto the market for sale as of today, there would be 5 1/3 months before we'd run out of houses to sell here in the area. So, and I mean, you can look back, and yes, there's fluctuation between that because, of course, more home sells in the summer months as you would in the other months of the year. But we are now basically right on par with what it was prior to the COVID. And we did see this giant spike. And I think this right here, what we saw last year, was our correction into this market that we are back into. So the very next chart that I want to show y'all is the actual number of listing average. So right here, you can see the number of listings. And as you can see, just like inventory wise, we are back at normal market levels. So right now, active listings, we are sitting at, if it'll show us, here, I'll just click here. 2,200 homes active in the Savannah market right now, which is incredible to see. And this is why we saw such a crazy market period during COVID. And what did we saw last year? Well, back to that increase of normalcy. So the next chart is the days on market. And this is the biggest question that I have been having with a lot of buyers is, why are homes sitting on the market for so long? Is there something wrong with them? The answer, more often than not, is no. Just because they have been on the market for longer than what we have experienced in the last few years does not mean that there is something wrong with the home. So right now, our average days on market for the Savannah area as a whole is 92 days, which is still better than what we saw post-COVID. We're over the 100 days, even touching the 120 days on market. So, and if I had to predict, we will probably see days on market continue to increase throughout the year. So just because you see that a home has been sitting for a very long time does not mean there's something wrong with it. We just need to get accustomed to the way the market was post-COVID, or I'm sorry, prior to COVID. 20 days on market, 40 days on market, that's not the norm anymore. Now, next chart is price. What are prices looking like? And there's going to be two different graphs I'm going to show you. And I'm actually going to, show you the Savannah area as a whole. Then we're going to take a look at a couple other zip codes. So the average list price for the Savannah area as a whole is at around $503,000. Yes, there has been a huge increase that we saw right here because of why? COVID. But if you were to just follow the trend right now, we are just slightly above what it would have naturally been. We would have probably been seeing um, probably in the mid fours. 400s is what we realistically would have been at if we did not have this crazy market period. And then I'm also going to show you what our homes actually selling for, right? Yes, we can list at a certain price, but what are people actually buying houses for in the area? And the average sales price right now is below. So the actual sales price right now on homes is in the mid 400s. Like I said, where we should be at right now if we followed the regular trend of what the normal market was doing, right? So I believe this is like 440, let's see, 445, right? So homes are selling for right now in the Savannah area what they should have been selling for regardless. But I do want to break this down into some other zip codes. So let's just check out in one of our hotter zip codes right now is the 31413 area, which is also known as Georgetown. Now, if you look at it, and let's go back to the list price. So the average list price for homes in the Georgetown market, you're looking at just above the threes. So it should be 309 if I'm correct. Yep, 309 is the average list price for the area. With the average sales price, if I had to bet money on it, it's going to be below that at, drum roll please, 280. Not really seeing a huge gap like with what we saw as the Savannah area as a whole, but there is still a lag between what people are listing their homes for and what they're actually selling for. And we'll look at one other zip code. So we're going to look at one of the Pooler zip codes actually, because that is another hot area. Now, homes in that area are currently listed at, which this is nice to see, right? So prices were level, slowly coming up, and then boom, COVID market came, prices went up. But now if you pay attention and like really just follow in between here, prices have steadily been coming back down. And right now we are at the average list price being around 301, it appears. Yep, 301. So that is definitely nice to see. If you are trying to purchase a home, prices are actually starting to come down. Now, what is the average sale price? Because that is even more important of a number. And the average sale price is actually higher than what the list price is, meaning people are purchasing homes just above what the list price is in the Pooler market. So if you're trying to sell your home in Pooler, that's great news for you as long as you price your home accordingly. And what we're seeing is homes are selling for that 329 range. But again, we look at this chart and what do we see? We saw, okay, normal trend, spike up. But if we were to just follow it, I mean, it's damn near where exactly it should have been to begin with if we skipped all this crazy nonsense that happened the last few years. And then the last thing that I want to show y'all is the number of home sales that we have seen historically, which helps just tie in everything together, right? So home sales typically every single month. Our average for the area, I would want to say it's like 75. Uh-oh, what are we seeing coming into 2026? We are below that. And right now, technically, if we're to see all these up spikes, we should be above that. And this is one of the concerns that I am having with our market right now is there's a lot of buyers leaving the market. What is to blame for that? Well, our current economy. I don't think it's so much so home prices. I mean, we saw the trends. There, we are going back to normalcy, and prices are going back to what the regular growth would have been. So I think our biggest thing that we are seeing as to why there's such a drawback is one, interest rates are forcing buyers out of the market. They came down, shot right back up. Next is the economy. I mean, shoot, gas shot right back up this year, along with everything else. So, affordability as a whole is not there for buyers, and this is causing a lot of concerns for sellers. Now, I'm curious to know what you all think. Do you think that we're going to see a housing market crash, or are we just going to see more of a correction and a little bit of stagnation this year? I think we're going to see more of a correction, not so much a crash. And those are those naysayers that say, no, we're heading into a crash. I don't see any hard evidence that really supports a crash, but definitely going to be a interesting market that we're going to see the next year, maybe even 2 years if I had to stretch it out, but I think we're mostly going to just see that this year. Alrighty, y'all, if you like this video, if it helped you out at all, please give me a like, and if you're not already, hit the subscribe button.